Who News? RTD returns. Okay, well, this has all been all over YouTube this morning. I don't normally do new Who-related news stories. If I do a news thing, it's usually just about animations and Blu-ray sets. But it's all over, so I might as well throw my opinion into the mix. Russell T Davies is coming back to Doctor Who. And Doctor Who production itself is now going to be done by Bad Wolf Productions, which is the production company run by Jane Tranter and Julie Gardner, who of course worked on the show and were the BBC One controller at the time of the Davies era. Apparently, according to the press release, Davies is going to be doing the 60th anniversary special in 2023 and will be showrunner of a 2020 season series 14 in 2024, which will be made by Bad Wolf. So this is a fairly seismic announcement for two reasons. One, of course, is that for the first time in 60 years, Doctor Who is no longer going to be made by the BBC. It's going to be made for the BBC, but it's actually going to be made by an independent production company. Now, how do I feel about that? Well, on the one hand, I think it's a damning indictment of the modern BBC that they cannot even make one of their own shows, one of their own biggest shows anymore. They are so incompetent, so useless, and so lacking in talent and ability that they have to farm out the production of one of their biggest shows to another company. I mean, I think that's shocking. On the flip side, of course, I think it's a good thing because the BBC, the modern BBC, suck. They absolutely stink in terms of what they are, what they represent, and the kind of crap that they're putting out these days. So going to an independent production company can only be an improvement. And I don't know, I'm not really familiar with Bad Wolf's work, but apparently they've done a lot of very popular and very acclaimed shows. So, you know, yeah, okay, could be worse, I guess. The Russell T Davies return is a bit more of a complicated issue. I know that fandom has been doing absolute cartwheels this morning, positively delirious with glee. As somebody who is not a fan of the Davies era, never was, and frankly can't even watch 95% of it these days, I find it so unappealing. It's a bit more of a different issue for me. And I don't know how to feel about it, honestly. Again, part of me is laughing my ass off because Russell T Davies once famously said that he would never come back to Doctor Who, and that the only way he would ever come back to do, and I think this is a direct quote, is if the show was on the verge of collapse. Which, I mean, that says it all, doesn't it? It says it all about the current era and the last 4 years. I mean, I don't think we need to say anything more on that subject. As I said in that video a few weeks ago about the announcement that the current lot were leaving the BBC, whatever their public spin, they know they've done fucked up. They know it's been a massive failure and a massive cock-up. And the fact that they've gone running to Davies cap in hand and are now farming out one of their own biggest properties for someone else to make, yeah, they know. At the same time, again, it's a damning indictment, not just of the BBC, but of the British TV industry as a whole. So you're telling me there's nobody new in the entire British TV industry that could take this show on and do something new and fresh with it? The only way that we can go back to bringing this show back and getting it made, presumably on a regular basis, is by bringing back a former showrunner. I mean, that's an extraordinary indictment of the current state of things in the UK to me. And I don't know how to feel about it, honestly, because like I said, I'm not a fan. I know a lot of people are. I'm not. I really dislike the Tennant era. Although I prefer Eccleston as a Doctor, I don't particularly like Davies' take on the Doctor either, because neither of them, even Eccleston, who I do prefer to Tennant, neither of them really bears much resemblance to the character from the original show. I would say Moffat's Doctors, whatever my issues with his era, and I do have plenty of them, I would say both Smithy and Capaldi were closer in character and conception and performance to the classic series Doctors than either of Davies's. So that worries me and concerns me. Of course, we couldn't get much further away than the classic Doctor than the one we currently have running around. So I suppose the only way is up at this point. Will I go back? I don't know. Look, Davies himself has been jumping on the woke brigade the last few years. And, it's over a decade ago. It's a decade ago. More than a decade. It's 10 to 16 years now, his era. The TV industry has moved on. The world has moved on. Can he really do it again? Is he going to reinvent it again? Or is it just going to be his old era over again? And if it is that going to fly in today's world? I really don't know. Even with the mainstream public, who that era obviously did appeal to very much at the time, not to me but to them. But are even they going to be interested if he just does the same thing again? And is he going to be able to reinvent it again? I mean, part of New Who's problem over the last decade has been an inability to move on from the Davies era and genuinely reinvent and become something new. And now now apparently we're throwing in the towel of even trying and literally going back to the Davies era. I don't know how to feel about that. Ultimately, I think, of course, I'm going to wait and see. It depends on who we get as the Doctor. That's going to be one of the biggest indications of where this is going. If there's any chance it's going to be good, and if it's any chance I'm going to be interested in watching it again. Who they cast as the Doctor. If he does what he did in 2005 and casts a big name, credible male actor in this role, okay, I may well give it a chance. If we get some ridiculous male actor like some of the suggestions he's been putting out in the last few years, which were just absurd, and I hope he was just trolling for publicity and not actually serious, because otherwise, God help us all. Or if we get another woman running around as a male character for, I don't know, reasons, then yeah, I'm probably not going to be interested. We'll just have to wait and see, I guess. But this is certainly, it's certainly very big news. It's certainly very surprising news. A lot of people are celebrating, but I think it's an indication of just how desperate the BBC are. They obviously don't want to lose Doctor Who, and I can't blame them, because it's one of their few big shows that they have. At the same time, they know full well that they've done fucked up. They know the current era has been an utter disaster. And the fact that they've gone running back to somebody, I guess, they see as a safe pair of hands, in the hopes that he can recreate his glory days, and are willing to hand over production of the show to someone else, to another company, for the first time in its history, it's an indication of just how badly they know they've screwed up. And that they apparently can't make this show themselves anymore. I just find that extraordinary situation to be in. Where it leads, what we're going to get out of it, and whether I'll be remotely interested in watching it. Because, I'm sorry, I haven't watched this show for 4 years now. I don't care. I don't miss it. At the same time, I would like something new, obviously. I would like something new that's Doctor Who, and recognisably Doctor Who, and doesn't make me want to tear my own face off when I watch it, That would be nice. Whether or not that's going to happen, I really don't know. I guess we'll just have to wait and see, like everybody else. But that's the news. It's big, it's surprising. Of course, we're not going to get, I don't know when they'll cast or start production. Obviously, we're not going to see anything from this new era till 2023, and probably not a full series till 2024, which is a long way away. So, if any of us if even going to still be here by the time that happens. So I'm not holding my breath, but that's the news. That's my initial reaction to it. A mixture of surprise, incredulity, what the hell, and well, let's wait and see. Anyway, just a little extra video for this week in light of this dramatic development. And I'll talk to you again next week. Bye for now.